Hello, everyone. Michael Sexton here. Today I'm going to be doing a presentation looking at my topic, which is coaching specialty, and how that has affected me or will affect me after taking this class, and going to be going over some of the other factors of what it takes to be a coach and the small pieces that go into that. For my coaching specialty, when we were talking about this is a little bit later on in the class, but the one that sounded the most interesting to me, specifically talking about what kind of coaching, is relationship coaching. Now I've done similar things to this, not professionally of course, but in high school everyone will always come to me asking about relationship advice or anything that may be affecting them during the relationship. And I think it's just something I've always enjoyed, just trying to make other people be able to make their relationships work. And I think it's just satisfying for me. And I know myself the results of what can come from a good relationship. I myself have a very good relationship with my family, especially my outside family. We've all grown up together since we were kids. We've all gone to church together. And even now to this day, that foundation that was laid remains. And I don't think it's ever going to be able to be broken. And one of the quotes here from chapter 15, talking about coaching relationships from Collins, it says the idea that there needs to be a clear picture of the values and visions that parents want for their marriages and their kids. And I wholeheartedly agree with that, because what has been set for me to be able to look towards relationships in my family has been set by my grandparents, their parents before them, and my parents now. And this has just been a continuous focused vision that has been apparent throughout our history. And now we're just reaping the benefits of what has been set before us. And that is something that I want other people to see, because the more that I've talked to people, the less I've found families with those kind of relationships. And it's really difficult to see, because I always thought family would be similar to what I've had as a family. And from what I've seen, especially moving out to Arizona, that is not the case. And that is one of my wishes, is to be able to help people create, if they don't have that, then create something like that with their families, or with their new wife, or with their girlfriend. Just be able to work and strive towards that goal. Going over the 5 topics that we were supposed to choose. The first one was listening. The first topic was listening, that I wasn't really aware of. And for listening, I knew that there were different types of listening, but I didn't know that there were the 3 types. And especially after going through the chapter and going through, of course, how important that is, I chose the quote I selected was, "Everything in coaching hinges on listening, especially listening with the coachee's plan and purpose in mind." And again, going back to the relationship thing, if you're not listening to anybody, or if you're not actually listening to what someone else is saying, what ideas they're trying to get across, they're not going to feel heard, and they're not going to want anything to do with you. And unfortunately, I myself I've been known to kind of daydream and not be listening to people, and then they'll ask, "Oh, what do you think about this?" And then I have to admit, "Oh yeah, sorry, I wasn't paying attention to anything what you said." And that is the moment. That's an important moment that sometimes we can't get back, especially with the coachee, because they're going to think, "Oh, this coach doesn't care about me." And going through that chapter, that was a very interesting one, and I'm glad to have learned more about the different levels of listening. The next one was intuition. Now, intuition versus, it went a little bit into the intuition versus just a gut feeling, which in a way is similar, but House states that a rational mind is weighted toward analysis and logic, which we all agree can be very useful in business and in life. Gut feelings are weighted toward creative possibility and innovation, thinking outside the box, a resource that is also very useful in business and in life. And intuition is something I think not a lot of people physically say out loud. They just go based off of what they're feeling in that moment, what they know has worked before. And in that feeling, intuition and gut feeling kind of mix together. And we've seen, I've heard accounts of people that of accounts in battle of people just having intuition of knowing what's going to happen because they recognize things that have happened previously. And this is, again, going back towards the coaching aspect, this is a very helpful thing when it comes to dealing with coachees, because there's something about human nature where we can just sense that something is off or something is wrong, or we want to pursue something because we think that something could benefit out of the long run because of that. And intuition is one of those factors. It's also the difference between, it's similar to street smart and book smart. Book smart, you may know all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't know how to apply that knowledge in a savvy way, or to be, as the Bible says, be crafty as serpents, then it's not going to be able to help you much. Being street smart, again, if you don't have any book knowledge, then that limits you as well. So having both of those, being able to be street smart, to be savvy, to be able to think on your feet, and to adapt to situations, that's really going to be able to help you. Oh, while also having the knowledge of an institution, or to be well read in books, that's really going to be able to help you in your coaching, which is what I've discovered going throughout this class. Now for curiosity, a text that I chose was being genuinely curious and eager to play with whatever shows up is at the heart of a coactive relationship. And curiosity, we did go, when we went over this and saying curiosity is a skill, and that is something that I fully agree with, because I didn't learn until later on about how to interact with people, how to keep conversations going. And I guess I figured it out on my own a little bit, just being curious and asking people certain questions. They will naturally keep the conversation going themselves. So being curious, when it comes to a coachee, I want to be able to be curious about everything, because there's just certain things maybe some coaches say that just stick with their coachee, and if I just keep digging and pursuing what may work for them, maybe I'll hit a chord that just resonates with them, and they'll be able to go on to pursue things. And that's why I think curiosity is probably one of the most important things when it comes to coaching. As if you're not curious, it really shows your disinterest in somebody, and that is probably one of the most disheartening things that could happen. Now, the topic of forwarding and deepening. This was something I had never heard of when it came to coaching, and this is one of the chapters I think I struggled with the most, because I kept putting curiosity and forwarding and deepening into the same box. And for the text that I chose, it says, "Here are inscribed the words that define the coach's role: to forward the action and deepen the learning. Each side has a different focus but a common bond. They are two aspects of the same thing, a relationship with a shared purpose." And I think adding those few extra words to forward the action and deepen the learning is you're not doing it for them. You're just enabling them to do it themselves. And I know that's one of the struggles that I've had with coaching, with the little coaching experience I've had, whether it be swim clinics or running or anything like that, is I tend to want to step in and do the action myself instead of enabling the person to do what they're fully capable of doing. And I think that to forward the action and deepen the learning, that really stuck with me and kind of made me realize what my position is and what my job is as a coach. Next one is the last one is the chapter of self-management. And the quote, the text I chose for this is, "Self-management is what we do as coaches or leaders to engage or recover when conditions create less than 100% connection." And again, this kind of goes back a little bit to the intuition of, you've been in this position before and you can kind of feel what is going on and what you need to accomplish. And self-management is, again, I think it's just another skill that we have to learn, just experiences that you have to be put through, difficult experiences you have to be put through in order to be able to get the conversation back on its feet, or being able to switch things up when the conditions are not exactly 100%, when you can make something out of nothing, essentially. And we've talked about this before, of distractions they're often uncontrollable, but what is controllable is the response to that distraction. And if you have a certain goal for that set meeting or session or whatever it is, then nothing is going to be able to get in the way of that goal, because you'll make plans for whatever happens, or you'll like with curiosity, you've practiced enough to know what to do in those situations. Now, going to the conclusion, just what I learned in this class. Excuse me. The going over coaching overall is a lot bigger than I thought it was actually going to be from the start of this course. And being able to have the skills on a high level, or even the job of being able to forward and deepen, it's not as active as I thought it was on the coach's part. Yes, the coach is active, but what I've found that I have lacked is the trust in the coachee to do their part. And the thought that, or the idea that the coachee is the captain of their own ship and has the ability to have their own initiative, that is something I think that I was lacking a lot of going into this course. And taking away the more control aspect of the coach and giving it more to the coachee, that is one of the major things that has helped me see what the coaching process is supposed to be. And in this course, I've been shown that while the coach is the primary driver of conversation, the coachee has all the power to complete it. And I think that going throughout this course, being able to take that into my military profession, because again, that's another thing that I lacked of. Whenever I was in leadership roles, I felt like I didn't have a balance of when did I have too much control and when did I not have enough control. So this course, excellent course, and I think this will be able to help me throughout my professional development, military, and homeland security. Thank you for this video. Thank you for this class. Have a good day.